You know, we've all had it happen. You get a little cut, a scrape, you slap a bandage on it, and pretty soon your body's amazing repair system just takes care of business. We forget it was even there. It's this little biological miracle we totally take for granted. But what if it didn't work?
What if that small injury just stuck around? An open wound that just refuses to close up, no matter what you do. And look, this isn't some hypothetical question. For millions of people, it's their day-to-day reality.
So, to really get our heads around this problem, we've got to start with the basics. What exactly are we talking about here? At what point does a regular wound become something else entirely?
Well, the medical world has a pretty clear line in the sand. 8 weeks. If a wound isn't showing any real signs of healing after 2 months, and this is with proper medical care, it officially gets labeled a chronic wound. This isn't about neglect, it's a sign that the body's own healing machinery has seriously broken down.
And here's the thing. This isn't just an isolated problem affecting a few people here and there. When you start to zoom out and look at the bigger picture, the scale of this is, well, it's genuinely shocking. We're looking at a quiet but massive public health crisis.
So, get this. In developed nations, like Germany, for example, up to 4% of the entire population is dealing with a chronic wound at any given time. Let that sink in. That's 1 out of every 25 people. This isn't some rare disease. It's a major health issue that's kind of hiding in plain sight.
And the cost? Oh, it's just astronomical. In Germany alone, the bill for treating these wounds can hit 8 billion euros a year. That is a colossal drain on the healthcare system. Think of all the resources, the specialists, the time that goes into managing this.
So who is actually most at risk here? Well, it's not random. The danger shoots way up for certain groups. We're talking about folks over 65, patients with diabetes, or people with diseases affecting their circulation. It's often these other health conditions that set the stage for a simple injury to turn into a nightmare that won't go away.
Okay, so to really understand why things go so badly wrong, we first have to appreciate how they're supposed to go right. Because your body, it has a brilliant, finely tuned plan for healing.
Honestly, the best way to picture normal healing is to think of it as a super well-organized construction project. It's got specialized teams, it's got a strict timeline, everything is coordinated perfectly to rebuild the damage.
And this whole project happens in 3 main phases. First, the cleanup crew shows up. This is inflammation. They clear out all the gunk and fight off any germs. Then the builders arrive. They start proliferating, which means they lay down a whole new foundation of tissue and blood vessels. And finally, you get the finishers. They come in to remodel and strengthen the whole area, leaving you with a solid repair. It's an incredibly slick operation.
But in a chronic wound, that perfect choreography just falls apart. The whole project gets stuck. The workers get the wrong signals, and the construction site just descends into chaos.
And this right here, this is the fundamental difference. Normal healing is fast, it's controlled, it's building something. A chronic wound gets trapped in this vicious, destructive cycle, where anything that gets built is almost immediately torn back down. The system is just stuck.
So what's actually causing this gridlock? What's jamming up the gears of our construction project? Well, researchers have pretty much zeroed in on 3 main culprits. Let's call them the 3 saboteurs. Saboteur number 1 is persistent inflammation. So imagine our cleanup crew from before. Well, in this case, they never get the memo to go home. They just stay on the job site, constantly breaking things down, and they destroy the new tissue just as fast as the builders can lay it. You can't build anything new under those conditions.
The second saboteur is even more clever. Biofilms. These are basically organized little cities of bacteria that build a protective slime shield around themselves. It's genius, really. This shield makes them almost impossible for your immune system or even antibiotics to get to. And from behind that shield, they just sit there, pumping out toxins that keep that inflammation going.
And our final saboteur is poor circulation. I mean, any construction project needs a steady flow of supplies, right? Oxygen, nutrients, building materials. In the body, that's what the bloodstream does. But if that supply line is choked off, the builders have nothing to work with. The whole project literally starves.
Now, understanding these saboteurs isn't just some interesting biology lesson. It's absolutely vital because this hidden health crisis is on a collision course with a major demographic shift that's happening all over the world.
The connection is it's undeniable. As our populations get older, the number of people in those high-risk groups we mentioned earlier, it's just going to soar. A rising elderly population directly means a bigger, more urgent need for expert wound care.
So the reality is, what's already a massive health problem today is on track to become an even greater challenge tomorrow. It's a simple and frankly pretty sobering equation. The longer we live, especially with conditions like diabetes, the heavier the burden of chronic wounds is going to be on all of us. Which leaves us with a really profound question. We have gotten incredibly good at extending how long people live, but as we do that, we're facing a new frontier, making sure those longer lives are also healthy lives. And it really makes you wonder, as we live longer, is mastering our body's own fundamental art of healing our next great challenge?